Fischer.
Must be an audio night. See, I'm adjusting the microphone. Is it making noise? Does it work? Oh, if it doesn't, we got four of the best sound guys here. Maybe they could sort me out. What's going on? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the Hang. Welcome, welcome. Here we are again. We appreciate you guys hanging with us on this April 20th. Man, April 20th. Man, it's going quick. What's the April showers? We got some showers down here in Florida, cooling it off, and we're happy to be with everybody tonight. Welcome. We have BR and the Sound Hang Part 2. Last week we had a wonderful week. Before we get into last week, I'll say hello to my friend from LaGrange, Illinois, the man who's putting it all together and keeps me honest and sane, which is a pretty much a full-time gig. Let's say hello to Stephen Wright. What's up, Stephen?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, yeah. Hey. What's going on in Chicago? Everything cool?
Mother Nature's drunk.
Is it again?
Yeah.
What was it, like 110 degrees?
Nah, it snowed today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. Can't win.
You know? That's why you got to move to Florida.
Yeah, but I put a boating shirt on to make myself feel warmer.
Oh, good. That worked out good for you, didn't it?
You know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Hey, last week was fun. We had Brian Ruggles, BR, his initials are his nickname. We had Brian. We had Duds, Tom Duds Ford, and we had our friend Jay. Yeah, it was just three of those guys last week, and we hung about 2 hours last week.
Yeah, right? a little over 2 hours. It was a good time. Flew by like 10 minutes.
Time. Yeah, it's always a good time with BR and anybody associated in the family. And tonight we have obviously Brian Ruggles, and we have three other really great pivotal gentlemen in the organization that have helped out for a long time in the sound crew world. Let's see if I can make a noise. I'll drop the RE20. Yeah, exactly. They're all cursing me now, like, what are you doing? So we have Josh Wiebel, who's the head monitor engineer. He's coming on tonight. We also have Rich, I'm going to get this right, Shunadel, right? Did I get it right? Brian's showing me his foot, so it's Shunadel. Rich has been with us for a while, and he's the crew chief, audio systems crew chief. He's wonderful. And last but not least, he makes us laugh, and he's tall, and, he's a handsome gentleman, man. I want to punch him. Brian Darling is a PA tech, so Brian's hanging out with us. And so these guys are going to come on. But, Stephen, we have anything coming up here shortly? I mean, I think we should just jump into it. Is there anything that we need to talk about? I mean, I think I have a senior moment. I'm totally.
Like we usually do, we'll announce who's coming in next week. We got a couple different guest ideas that we're playing around with, and just confirming schedules and stuff. So we'll get those out as soon as we can. But yeah, I'm hip to getting right into this one. It's going to be good.
Cool. And actually, before we get into it too, it's really ironic because I'll tell everybody, since it's kind of a tech night, I'll hip everybody because I play trumpet. It's not hard. It's got 3 valves I blow on an instrument. Technically, it's not hard. The technical part of this streaming software is we use Zoom as our basic vehicle. Would that be correct, Stephen?
Yeah, it's the way that we communicate, yeah.
Yeah, but you put it through Restream and a whole bunch of your software and kind of make it a cool thing. And we have a live chat with everybody, which is really fun. So everybody get your chats going. We have some questions that came out just throughout this week and last week that we didn't hit. So we're going to hit everybody with them. But please say hello and throw some questions in there. But the technical aspect of this and our servers are really interesting. That we use to make the show happen. So I'd like to, again, thank Steven because he's the one that has it together. And, the audio guys, they're going to rip us apart. So I love it. Am I too hot? Am I peaking?
Yeah. No, don't worry. BR will tell us.
Yeah, that's why I love it.
Yeah. Well, he's basically running the show now. He's got it figured out. He's
been here 1 week and he knows more about the feed than we do. So, right.
But yeah, the only other thing I'll mention is, we had a couple of very generous people last week submitted donations in support of the stream. So
thank you. I went right to the bar. Stephen and I went right to the bar with that, man. It was great. We bought a round for everybody. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
Actually, it goes to our servers, believe it or not our alcoholic servers, because we don't drink. We're totally virgin. It goes to actually our servers, our software servers, correct? Restream and all that.
Yep. Yeah, there's four.
Thank you for
four
that.
Different ones. Yep. So thank you guys for those, and that was really all I wanted to hit.
Cool. Well, that being said, we're going to get school tonight, and we're going to bring in Mr. Brian Ruggles, BR, and he's going to, like I said, he's on top of things. So let's say hello to my friend Brian. Where is he at?
Here I am.
There he is. What's happening?
Well, good evening.
2 weeks in a row. What's happening, BR?
How you doing, man?
Everything cool this week?
Everything's great. I mean, same old, living the COVID vacation.
The COVID quarantine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
It's all good, man.
Do you guys get washed out over there on that coast, too?
Yeah, today we got, Today we got hit pretty good. We got hit yesterday. Yeah, we're good. It's all coming from you guys.
That's always my fault.
Right across the state, and it comes
Yeah,
right
man.
into my backyard and fills up my pool.
Perfect. I'll tell you what, though, it's cooled everything off over here, man. I think tomorrow, the next couple of days are going to turn out no humidity.
I hope so, because it's humid as hell.
It has been here too. Yeah, it's nuts. Wow. I know. It's almost time to go up north just because of the cooler weather. But
yeah, mosquitoes are having a field day out here, man.
Oh man, yeah, they're picking you up right now. I see they're taking your glasses. They're gonna fly your glasses off. Marty the mosquito. Oh shit. So yeah, man, we had a great week last night. Duds was wonderful. You had a lot of stories with Duds, and I actually, what was nice is the dichotomy between him and Jay, being Jay relatively the new guy. So it was kind of fun week.
Yeah, it was interesting because Duds has been with me forever and ever and ever. You know, 40-something years or whatever, which was kind of fun. And he's got a lot of stories.
Yeah.
You know, he can remember all those stories.
Yeah, man. And, for everybody who didn't join last week, we have a YouTube channel, Fish Music YouTube. You can check out all the old episodes. Last week was episode 49. Oh, wait, we're at episode 50 tonight, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a big 5-0. Jesus.
Dang.
Man, do we get a gold watch or at least a devil dog or a freaking Entenmann's treat or something? A donut?
I just hope the stream doesn't crash by the end.
Oh, Jesus.
Every show is a prize for me.
You do a good job, Stephen.
Thanks,
Listen,
sir.
Carl, you need a little WD-40 on that mic stand when you go.
You think? That's why I like it. Keeps everybody honest. Yeah, I gotta get a little WD-40. I'll put it in my garage.
I had to say something,
I'm just happy I haven't dropped the mic yet. Usually, it's early. Josh will probably be waiting for me to drop this RE20. So, last week was fun. I like the pairing. This week, so we had to split up in two weeks, right, BR, because the sound crew you have it's a big crew, man.
Well, it's what, 5 guys?
5. It's actually not really a big crew, but we like to make it. With the technology having 3 guys on, and we actually have 4 guys on, but Rich and Brian are on the same feed. Right. But so it's 5 guys. Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah. It's small.
Gotta tell you, they're all worth their weight in gold, man.
They're efficient.
5 guys can do a lot of work and a lot of good work.
Yeah, man.
I'm lucky to have them all.
Well, I agree, man. Let's bring in the first contestant. So I'm going to bring in BR's he's our head monitor engineer, and he sees it happening from the side of the stage for a long time. So he's a big supporter of us and what we do. We appreciate it. We see you here on the comments every week, or most every week, and we appreciate it, Josh. So let's say hello to Josh Weeble. What's up, my man?
Hey, boys. What's going on?
What's happening?
You're happening.
Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Happy
You got
Tuesday.
it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. What's going? Are you up? You're up north, right? You're in Pennsylvania also.
I'm in Maryland now.
Oh, you went to Maryland. Okay.
Maryland, yeah.
You got out of Pennsylvania, huh?
Is Joe Bob your neighbor? Oh no, he's in Delaware. That's right.
Close. He's real close.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked on Zoom, you and BR? Oh, no.
I haven't seen these guys in
No, this is the first time we've seen each other.
Wow, man.
Yeah. I haven't seen them in over a year.
Since Mexico.
Yep. Last show, March 6th.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Speaking of time, Josh, you've been on the organization 13 years now, correct?
Yes.
And then you came from, were you doing Paul Simon prior to jumping on with BR and the boys?
I did Paul Simon in between a little run when we were on a break.
Cool.
And then Billy started up, so I came back to do Billy. And
you were working for Claire, obviously, right?
Yeah, this is my 19th year, going on 19 years.
Oh, wow, with Claire Brothers.
You get a watch.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, 20 years, you get a watch, man.
A watch or a hat.
You get a Rolex.
Well, I mean,
Are they still doing the watches?
yeah, I think so.
All right.
They really do watches. No kidding.
Oh,
That's cool.
seriously?
Yeah.
They give you a Rolex for 20 years and up.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really generous.
Yeah,
Josh
man.
is working on 2 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
I got a Brolex once, but it was because it's because I only lasted 2 years. To Chinatown. Well, that's cool, Josh. 19, and you, correct me if I'm wrong, man. My memory is kind of shot, but you came on as the PA monitor tech, right? You didn't come in as.
Originally, I was monitor teching.
Yeah.
Correct. I think a year or so, something like that.
And then you moved into the chair, man. Yeah, that's really cool. And actually, before we bring the other guys in, I just want to talk to you and BR about that, because BR, how does that happen? I know BR is the quintessential guy in any seat whether it be the band, sound, or just in general. BR has been with the Billy for 50 years, man. So how do you explain this, BR, man? You see a guy and you kind of you give him enough rope to hang himself. You see potential. Obviously, you see potential in these people. They have a track record because they have, they work for Clare Brothers. But can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, it's very interesting because I'm not really sure that who did you take over the chair from?
Mixing or teching?
Mixing.
Was it Pearch?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Pearch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I was just on the phone with him this week.
Oh, good.
Every once in a while we just,
Yeah, Mikey, good guy, man.
Yeah.
Cool. So Mike left, and then you basically, you were like, come on. How does that work, Brian? How does that work in your world?
Yeah. I mean, he knew the show. Josh knows the show. He knew what, he knows everything there needs to be known about monitors, and especially wireless. He's a wireless expert. It's serious.
Yeah, man.
I was just talking about it last week there, Josh. Now he goes in and he's checking the wireless stuff every hour just to make sure it's clean.
Yes, sir.
So we're not getting stepped on, by the police or
It's a lot tougher now.
Some guy watching porn or something, Anyway, I didn't mean that. Sorry, girls.
Right.
My daughters are watching this. I shouldn't have said anything like that. Anyway, but Josh is just a great technician, and he came in and started doing a great job. So, I mean, with a little help from all of us, we can, because he had to know about Billy's monitors, which are strange because he likes monitors he doesn't want hi-fi. He wants it drilling his ears,
wow.
Yeah.
Really, right?
Definitely.
That high pass filter and take off the low end and just drill his ears with it.
Yeah, he likes a bite.
Yeah, he wants that bite time. Yeah. And but anyway, as far as that was concerned, that was easy to correct and to explain to Josh, and he just took it and went with it, man. He's doing a great job. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
To have him. Yep.
Cool.
The analogy would be, what I love about this feed is a whole bunch of different type of people here, whether they, different industries, and I can relate with what you're saying, Brian, and this is just a general thing, is every artist, whether, if it's the main artist like Billy, or, if it's Chuck Berge, the wonderful drummer, everybody on the stage has a different sound concept. And obviously it starts with Billy. Billy likes, like you said, a drilling thing. For me, when I was with Maynard Ferguson, I used to ring Maynard's monitors out, and I see Josh and Jay and Rich and Brian, before Billy comes, and yourself, and you guys are like ringing the room out and ringing the monitors out. So I know you guys know the personality of each musician, and that's really a creative kind of a cool thing, because everybody doesn't want the same thing, correct? As far as sound, it's crazy.
No, not at all.
I mean, Josh will tell you that.
Yeah.
he's doing.
Everybody has kind of a general sound, but they definitely like specific things.
He's juggling the monitor balls. I mean, it's everybody's got a different personality and a different what they want to hear in their ears or monitors. As I explained last week, some guys, the old timers, like monitors, and most of the guys these days like in-ears, which are like headphones, like Rich is wearing.
Yeah, which we haven't brought them in yet. They're staring at us.
I know. I forgot.
Yeah, like the ears. And Josh will tell you, I've ruined like 4 pairs of ears now in 15 years. So I'm sorry, Josh. They break. I pull them out of my head.
It goes. It happens, man. They just.
Yeah. They're tiny. You're a big guy and they're tiny.
Yeah, and I have a big head and there's tiny, and it doesn't work. But it's amazing though, like BR is saying, it's the old school monitors. Like Billy likes the monitors, and it definitely BR touched on this last week too, and I'm sure you can also comment on this because it definitely keeps the stage a lot quieter with having the in-ears in with Crystal, myself, Andy, Mike Del Judas, Dave Rosenthal, Chuck. I think we're all on ears, right?
Yeah. Everybody but Tommy and Billy and Mark, but Mark's pretty quiet.
Mark's pretty quiet, but occasionally I'll pop an ear and then I hear the razor come out. I love it. I'm like, woo!
The razor!
I love it, man. I miss him. And whatever he plays, would be soprano or tenor or alto or sing. It's like, man, he's just projects. It's great. I call him Razor. He's wonderful. He just gets out front, right?
Oh yeah.
Woo, Marky. We love you, Mark.
He's like Billy in a sense, where he likes to hear the room.
Yes.
Yeah. Along with the monitors.
Okay.
So he gets his ambience from the room.
I gotcha.
And then it kind of works out. That's the way they like it. That's that old time vibe.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a drag when the room is a bad room because that's what you can't change the room sound. So.
Well. We always figure it out. Me and my boys, my Rich.
That's a perfect intro.
Yeah, bring him in.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Rich Schoenadel. What's up, Rich?
What's going on, guys?
What's up? And then Brian Darling. So Rich is the audio systems crew chief, and Brian Darling's our PA tech. What's up, Brian and Rich?
How you guys doing?
We're good, man. What's happening?
Just chilling. Yeah.
Whose house is that? Is that Brian's house?
My place, yeah.
Man, he's got nicer stuff than we do, Brian.
You got to bring your input.
I spent like the last. You need more?
Yeah. Well, bring the mic tighter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just telling you.
Straighten them out, BR.
I wasn't listening before.
And good night. Oh, look, he's got more stuff in his background than we.
Uh-oh. Goodbye.
Oh, no.
All right, Carl, I got this, man. So, Rich.
Yeah.
You've been with us for how long?
8 years now, since 2013.
I know. Carl's back.
So, Rich, how long have you been here? Brian's got it. I have to say, it's amazing because Brian did the feed last week, and he was telling us when we did a little tech call earlier. He knew it's the way he observes things and remembers things. He schooled Steven and I, and we've been doing this 50 episodes. It's hysterical. So that's, I think, a lot with the people you have that you hire too. Everybody is very observant. It's very hip. I noticed that. They catch on quick.
I got the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
And they're all, yeah, absolutely. Bar none. Anyway, Rich and Brian. Rich he's my front of house engineer. He's doing a great
Co-pilot.
job. Brian's just there.
Co-pilot. I heard that Rich doesn't like effects, I heard.
What are you doing?
That's what I
Did
heard.
you watch the show last week, Rich?
I didn't catch the end of it, so I'm guessing I missed this.
Well, Duds had brought it up, like when we do like Say Goodbye to Hollywood. I add a lot of effects because it's got to be that wall of sound, you know, that you know, they were like the Ronettes, you know.
Yep. Very long reverb delay, sort of big sound. Very big. Oh yeah, big.
Big kick, big snare, big vocals.
Yep.
A lot of backgrounds, but you hate it, I know. Because you'll walk around and come to me and say, man, there's a lot of effects. I said, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Oh man.
Oh God. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's
I could dig in with these guys.
I had to let the cat out of the bag, you know. I got a little.
That's all right.
You know.
I know he likes it when I play it fairly straight.
Yeah.
You know, without
Yeah.
a little verb, maybe.
Well,
You
we're
know
gonna
how
get
it is. So many of these
Looking
rooms,
around, going, "What are you doing?"
so many of these rooms we play have a reverb you can't get rid of. So
Right.
sometimes it works with it, sometimes
Well, you
it doesn't.
use the room.
But
Yeah, that's
exactly.
when you use the room to mix.
Yeah, no, I'm with
That's
you.
your verb, your natural verb. But then if it's a tighter room or there's a certain song, like a nice soft ballad where you want to make it nice and pretty, as Rocky Holman used to call it, put a little Judy Garland on it.
There you go.
That was Rocky's expression.
Rocky.
I know. God bless him. I love you, Rock.
Well, cool. So Rich is in front of the house with you, and then I turn around. You know, I'm on an up on so stage left. Correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. Stage left. That's where you are. That's where Monitor
That's
World
correct.
is, right? And that's where the stairs. And I'm back and forth there. And you know, Brian Darling is like he's like the Mission Impossible. One time I see him, next time he's out front, and next time I see him back, I'm like, Brian, what are you doing? He's like bouncing back and forth. And Brian is funny, man. He's like a mosquito. He's everywhere. And he's taking care of a lot of things. So, Brian, would you say, yeah, I mean, you're PA tech, but what is your exact timing? You're between front of house and monitors? How does that work? Because I love it, man. You're everywhere.
Yeah, after the start of the show, I'll sit out front with Rich while he walks the room and just kind of hang out, keep an eye out of front of house. And then after the first couple songs, I'll usually come back and sit with Josh and Jay and see what those guys are up to. And then
I told him to come sit with me
Why?
Come on up on the
retire?
a long time ago. I said, "Get up here."
Cool.
and you don't
But
say
he's-
that to Josh, so
He said he doesn't like you, though. He said he's going to hang. I'm
Well,
just kidding.
Josh, you're not allowed to go anywhere yet. The whole thing is over.
Yeah, we had our break. We had our vacation, right, BR?
Oh, my
We had
God.
our vacation. Let's get back to work.
Let's go. Let's go. Can't wait. No, it's amazing. And I love one of my favorite things is if we're in a different city or even at the Garden, I'll come early sometimes and see you guys really making it happen. I see Josh and Rich and Brian flying the PA. So after the room is marked out from our wonderful rigging department, Norman Gomes and our friend Drew Labriola and Larry Doby Jr. and all the crazy guys, man, they marked the room out, and you guys are hanging the PA. So, man, I'm sure it's changed. Brian and I were talking about what's the old cabinets, the four.
S4.
The
S4s, right? Even in my little mid time of 16 years, I've seen the technology change to where stuff is smaller and lighter. How does that work for you guys when you're rigging a room out where it's, you know, it's obviously, I would think it's difficult still, but I would hope it got easier as far as equipment wise, right?
Most certainly has, yeah. You know, we have a much more precision tool nowadays than the S4s.
Okay.
It went from 3 trucks a gear more to 1 truck a gear.
Oh, wow.
And, so in that way, it's easier, but you know, it's still all the same things need to show up.
Interesting.
You know, to make it happen. So
I see you guys, you know, doing these fly points and putting these cabinets up. And I touched on this last week too. Since Rich, we talked about you. I'm going to continue talking about you. I see you with the iPad tablet running around the room. BR's in front of the house, and you guys are ringing the room out. And I love that technology. So explain to me, you know, when you fall down the stairs and bust your knee. Sorry. Was that my outside voice, BR? I felt so bad because I just did my meniscus like 5 years prior to that. I know you know, you're on a scooter and BR showing us, hey, shit, let me see that chicken leg again. Come on, let me see it. Oh, look at that wing. Yeah, man. So you guys are ringing a room out and you actually have a spectrum analyzer? That sounds very, very, very important, spectrum analyzer. What are you doing, man? Explain to me. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So Brian and Josh does it. Josh, you do it for the monitors too, correct? I would imagine.
And also add to that, the question came up last week, Rich, about using pink noise and white noise, whatever. But we use pink noise to what's the word I'm looking for? To adjust the. I had it last week.
Well, to check everything, really, everything from the drivers to help level the system and, you know, make sure components are working. We use pink noise because it's the most even across the whole spectrum.
Right.
And we'll use that from everything from time aligning to a starting place with some EQ from the room. But then we'll make sure we're listening to our voices through a microphone as a reference, or some of our favorite tracks, our reference music.
Kev Mo
was
the one I was looking for last week.
That was the one we were looking for.
Yeah,
we couldn't remember that.
I couldn't remember that last week, but I actually put it on this week during my. I do my exercise every morning, and I put Kev Mo on this week, and it was good.
That's one of our go-tos.
Was the difference when you go into a spectrum analyzer in your workout when you listen to Kev Mo?
That's the word I was looking for when we used the pink noise to time align the room.
Okay.
The upper cabinets, the lower cabinets, the delays, whatever. That's how you keep it all locked in.
Okay, so I'm going to hit the first two questions then, because we have our wonderful guests. I'm going to hit the first two questions. Brian touched on it and Rich did too. So my first question will be to Josh, and anybody can answer this too. So Rich and Brian and BR are ringing out the house. I would imagine you're doing the same thing with monitors for frequency too. How's that work out in the monitor world?
It's kind of the same thing. Jay and I will noise through all the wedges, and I obviously go through all my in-ear stuff. And then I'll go up and listen to wedges individually, just to make sure everything sounds like it should, check levels and all that. So
and if it's not now, so now you're dealing with pulling frequencies out.
Yeah.
Which, and the reason I explain this is because, again, not everybody is, I didn't know what a frequency was until last week. I went to Radio Shack. They were out of business. I didn't know what the hell happened. No, but really, so you're looking at frequencies really at that point.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like frequencies on stage are affected by the room as well, like depending on what room we're in.
Okay.
Some rooms are really nice, and then other rooms, there's, like Rich was saying, there's certain things that you have to spectrum analyze out. But
old school word, right?
Old school.
Yeah. All right, so that's kind of hip. And so the next question.
Same idea, though.
It's the same concept, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean Fox says you guys are lying. The iPad is for Amazon shopping.
And watching sports game. The important bit.
Right.
Sean, shouldn't you be at a Broadway show? Oh, wait. There's no Broadway. Pipe coming in. Sorry.
Come in on your head, Carl. You better
exactly. I have to go to the next gig with a hard hat. He gave me the freaking check. So, Brian, you touched on this, BR. You touched on this, and this is the other question that came out in the middle of the week. Someone asked me, and I actually had to think about it too. So, you touched on tonight, and it kind of goes with this question. When we're in stadiums or in front of the Coliseum in Rome, which was a wonderful concert years ago, you're dealing with delays and delay towers and trying to get, so how does that work? I know that they're timed differently, but can you guys explain, maybe BR and Brian can explain a little bit about that, because it's such a wonderful, so there's no slapback, right? How's that work as far as timing goes and all that good stuff? Whoever wants to hit it. Darling, you want to hit it first, or BR, whatever you guys, go.
It's a very complicated thing sometimes, because not only do you want to time align it to the main PA,
okay,
but you also have issues with certain stadiums or certain arenas or whatever that have another slapback to the wall or glass, or
all right,
it's folded over, in the bleachers, or so you have to kind of play a game. It's a big game with time in delays. So yeah, a lot of it's by ear.
Okay,
right, Rich? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
As we walk, we come up with a certain compromise.
All right. Okay.
To make it sound right throughout the room. I mean, like I said last week, me and Rich walk stadiums and we'll go up to the highest nosebleed in the corner to make sure they can hear okay, and it's matching the house PA. It's all kind of blending together.
Nice.
It's sounding like one.
Okay.
It's sounding like, bouncing around. So that's the trick. I mean, it's kind of I don't know. You do a lot by ear, right, Rich?
Yeah. It's very much is a mixture of geometry, trying to physically place things.
Okay,
the best we can.
Yeah, I like talking about the geometry, because I noticed, and one of the comments I came with the same question was, at the Garden, some of the best seats people say are behind the stage for two reasons: one, sound, and two, they can see the inner workings of the band, and behind the stage they can watch Josh and Jay laugh at me when I drop a mic, and when Mark drops his water and Crystal throws her wine. But I noticed, though, you guys always play with geometry, like pulling in the bottoms certain ways, and maybe you guys can explain about that in the morning. I mean, Garden is pretty much, we're there every month, so we should know the room by now. But when you go to other arenas, I can imagine geometry has a lot to do with it, correct?
It definitely has a good part of it. We look at that before we ever even get there. And then in combination with that, and then electronically delaying, along with EQing the system, the Garden
and the physics of the room.
Yes.
Physics
play into it.
That plays into it as well.
Man, I feel smart. Geometry, physics,
math,
spectric analyzer. Man, I could die tomorrow and I feel like I know something.
And Carl, you were saying about the rear seating, the 360 seating in the Garden.
Yes, sir.
Great seats, very intimate. We're once again just physical view of geometry. They're literally right on top of you guys, right?
Yeah.
And we basically could like to refer to the PA back there as the Texas headphones, because it's literally the closest to the audience.
Really?
And yes, physically.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And it's quite a show back there. Us walking every seat in the house, that's all part of it, is getting that to sound as good as anywhere else.
Interesting. Well, it's funny. Yeah, it is quite a show, especially when Mark and I go to pick each other's butt. Everybody thinks we're picking our butt. And here's the thing. I get this comment a lot. Like, I'll be playing with the right hand, playing trumpet, and they'll see me, and Josh always laughs too. They'll see me with my left hand in my pocket, and they think, what the hell is Carl doing with his pocket? That's where actually my in-ear volume is. So
yeah,
a lot of people,
it is.
Yeah, it's changed. I swear to God.
Yeah, you're full of it.
Trying to get my car keys out.
Just trying to adjust the package.
To touch myself. Yeah. No, but it's funny because like it's different wherever you go on stage sonically, especially if we go in front of Tommy Burns, because he has he's playing, his monitors are cranking. But, so I'm always adjusting things, and I'm always digging in my pocket. So people are like, are you trying to be cool? What are you putting your hand in your pocket? And it's funny, a lot of people from the rear of the stage will see Chuck doing some different things, and you're right, man. And I didn't realize that the PA was as close as. So those are great seats, right? I mean, I would
they're great seats. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Other than them looking at your ass and you playing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to see it. I hate myself. I mean, come on. Speaking of hating myself, is Steven around? He hates me too. Where are you at, Steven?
Yeah, we're just
watching the show, man.
Yeah, we're just talking crap about you in the chat.
Perfect. What's going on over there?
We got a good chat going. We got some people just saying hello. The first person in the chat award tonight goes to our guest last week, Jay. He sent you guys some clinking beer mugs. We got the Ruggles girls joining us again. We got Sydney and Kylie are in the chat.
Hi, girls.
Hi, girls.
Got Lori Collado says part 1 was a lot of fun. Looking forward to tonight and more of the behind the scenes stories. The Hang President Noah is here hanging out with us. Mike Beachman says hello to all the fish heads in the chat.
Fish heads, welcome, fish heads. What's going on?
Heads, yeah.
There's no tuna tonight. We're not doing any tuna, right, guys? There's no Charlie the Tuna. It might be a Charlie the Tuna, but gotta look out for those fish heads.
We got Teddy and Melissa from Songs in the Attic radio show are joining us. Had a couple questions come in already. Some of them are a little bit more general. Some of them are a little bit more technical. One
All
was
right, before you go with the question now,
yes,
I
sir.
just, you hit one thing, I'm sorry, but the timing's right. So I'm very excited about this. So we talked about Brian's wonderful girls, and can you pull up the picture of both Sydney and Kylie? We got these girls are just they're awesome. Sydney plays flute occasionally with Mark. She's always a woman, and wonderful Kylie, beautiful Kylie. There's Brian and the girls. Did a good job, man. Those are your kids? You sure those are your kids?
Yeah, I don't know about that. They're awfully pretty to be my kids.
That's a great shot, man. I love that shot. They're gorgeous. What a great family.
I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful. I'm very lucky. Thank you.
Yep, there she is.
Playing.
Sid.
That's Sydney playing with Mark on She's Always a Woman Tonight, or to me, and tonight. Think about tonight. But she came up. She played with us a few times, and she does a good job.
Yeah, no rehearsal. She shows up at sound check, gets a level.
That's it.
I always laugh at Josh and Jay, and sometimes Brian too, because I have a SM58 and it's Sydney's microphone now. So when Sydney comes, it says Sydney, and I know, it says Sydney, and I love it. So she's come 2-3 times and she nails it, and she does great. And we love Kylie, and we love when they come. So thanks for hanging out with us, girls. Appreciate it. Sorry, man, I interrupted Steven. He had a question. I just had to show pictures. I like pictures.
No, it's we've got actually quite a bit of students in the chat tonight, and cool. And one of our students is asking, you guys play a lot of stadiums and arenas. Some of them are older than others. Are there certain materials that are used to build the stadiums that are more difficult or easier for you guys to work with sound-wise?
Yeah, I mean, the stadiums generally are easier than the indoor arena because there's not much of a room to tune to, but we still can't get away from just a large glass wall, large glass suites, something like that that's just making quite a reflection. Newer stadiums seem to use less and less, or at least have glass that'll open, so it's a bit easier possibly on newer stadiums.
And also the older stadiums, say like a Fenway or a Wrigley Field, the really old ones are kind of more intimate and they sound really good.
Yeah.
Because they're smaller.
Yep.
They sound good. But yeah, but the glass thing with these newer stadiums, they gotta, that can be a problem sometimes.
And one of my favorite things actually is Fenway and I'm a Yankee fan. Imagine that. I know Brian, we're both Yankee fans, but playing Fenway, it's such a great vibe, and you guys have a great handle on the sound. And when we used to play Wrigley in Chicago, wonderful old stadium, man, killer. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
No, you guys are good. Sorry, I stepped on you a little bit there. Along those same lines, you guys were talking about walking the stadiums and things like that. So, couple of the younger people in the chat were asking, what does walking the stadium really mean, and then how do you
hot dogs and beer?
Yeah, and then how do you guys do that differently from a smaller arena versus someplace like Wembley?
Good, Rich. I know what I want to
say. Get your steps in.
Yeah, exactly. Most certainly with Wembley. Just takes a lot longer with something like Wembley. We might be tying into their part of their system too, because of how big of a place that is. But yeah, when we say walking the stadium, we literally mean walking every zone of it and having a listen for the same sort of things. As you mentioned earlier, Carl, we have the iPads. Basically just a tablet that's talking Wi-Fi back to the system, and within every 2 cabinets we can do everything from turn downs to EQ to delay if we choose to, and we're literally walking every seat, making sure it sounds as good, that there's as much intelligibility, that the kick drum still hits you in the chest, that it's still a good show even if you're up in the nosebleeds or in the front row.
Awesome.
And it's interesting you say the kick drum. Because we can't put the same kind of low end in the delays, let's say, as we do in the main system.
Oh, wow.
Because to put the low end, a lot of low end in the delays, it gives us more trouble. Am I right, Rich?
It is, yeah. So we rely on what's coming from the stage. So the sub lows that you're hearing, it's a longer wavelength propagation. So everything is delayed back to those. That is what we would call the 0 point of the show. So what the people are hearing in the nosebleeds is the sub lows that are in a stadium 400 feet away.
Wow.
That's true. Yeah.
Jeez.
Crazy. But it works. I think, I hope.
No, the dedication that you guys put into walking the stadiums is really impressive. I always got a kick out of it because I've done other acts, and I haven't done a lot of other acts in stadiums. I've done some arena tours with other acts, and you guys really spend the time and have the quality and pride in your product. So, it's a cool thing to watch, man. And then I feel bad for Josh and Brian when they're on the side of the stage, on the left stage left, when we're all yelling at them like, I can't hear myself or whatever. So you got a different dichotomy. You guys are working at the final product out front of house and on the monitor end. Explain to me, the question would be, I'll just throw it out there. What's your most difficult, and this is for both Brian Darling and Josh, what's your most difficult part of the gig? Could be anything.
Josh, you go first.
Not eating too many hot dogs in production.
It could happen. It could happen.
It has happened.
I was going to say it has once or twice.
Yeah.
They're free. How could you not?
Yeah, right.
Free is for me.
I don't know if there's really a hardest part of the gig. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, offhand, I can't really say that one part sticks out.
Okay.
We're such a good team, especially on Billy, that everything just flows. We all have our gigs, but then we jump in and help everybody else too. So, our day kind of flows really well as a group.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. But at least, you're suffering as a group.
well, I mean,
at the same time, nobody suffers like we do. I mean, it's you can whine and complain about stuff all day, but at the end of the day, it's still the best job you could have. I mean,
Wow.
It could be a lot worse.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I love that you're saying that. I'll throw in one of the things that I see that bugs everybody, including musicians, is the frequency issue, and especially in the in-ears. I'll be playing, and I'll hear at Teterboro Airport, and there's somebody landing in the Cessna, what have you, or the guy's ordering a hot dog from, Jersey, and I'm in New York. So explain to me the frequency thing. Brian and I touched on it last week, but and so did Jay. Jay was talking about you actually physically going in and you guys dialing in frequency issues. Let's talk about that for a minute. That's really that's a hard part of the gig, I would imagine.
It's gotten a lot harder in the last couple of years because of all the T-Mobile and stuff buying up a lot of the frequency area that we use. But I go in normally the day before, like stadiums, and I do scanning that day and set everything up and listen to everything, like frequency wise. And then the next day I go back in and re-listen to everything and rescan, because it's harder and harder to find in some cities like Philadelphia, Chicago. Certain cities are really tough to find like clean frequencies on a consistent basis for ears, for wireless mic, like you guys with your horn packs. I mean, that would be one of the tough parts, I would say. Sometimes, some days, it's real easy to go in and do, and other days it can be a challenge to find enough stuff.
Interesting. All right, so I'm going to ask Brian the same question. However, he's younger. I hate to say it, he's younger. But where do you see the technology going? Since these frequencies are getting bought up, what's going to happen? They're going to make new frequencies? What do you think, Brian? How's that going to work? Because it's every city. I was in Miami playing a freaking jazz concert, and I heard the captains on the freaking river going down on the river. I'm like, what the hell? Crazy, man. I'm like, I thought I was fishing, I thought I was going kingfishing. I was like, so how's that work for you, Brian? I mean, I know you're up on the new technology. What do you think is going to happen in the future? How's that going to get sorted out? Or is it?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, you can't make new frequencies, it's
oh no, okay.
Yeah, it's just the natural, that's the way the physics is. So we're not breaking those laws, but I don't know. I feel like at some point, I don't know. I don't know if they'd ever sell off the entire, leave us with nothing, or, it depends on where like cell phone technology goes and what kind of frequencies they're all going to start working on in the future. And, especially now that 5G is rolling out and all that stuff. I know that runs a lot higher frequencies than we're at, but
dig this, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian Ruggles, you're a sound man. You've been in this 50 years. We're talking about cell phone technology. Is that crazy, bro? It's right. Holy shit!
It's totally insane, man. It's
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, darling. I'm like Brian. I never thought of it that way. But you just brought in the whole thing about cell phones. It's like never thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, remember when a couple years ago T-Mobile was rolling out their whole like now works better in buildings thing? That's because they bought up that 700 megahertz band, which is a lower frequency.
Wow.
Or was it the higher frequency? Or lower frequency. It'll get through the walls better, and that means you get better service inside.
Okay.
So they bought up that lower frequency spectrum in the 700 range, and then same with the 600, and use that in the cell phone so you can get better service inside, in the basement somewhere.
Jesus.
And then we got to start
technology, baby. Technology.
Always changing. And so Josh and Brian and Jay and all you guys are dealing with it. But I noticed, man, it's when there is interference, it's not, you guys are hunting for the right channel. So it's not easy. Well, cool. You guys definitely hit that. Great. Steven, I'm sure there's a few more questions and a few more highs. And
oh, yeah.
Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. I feel better now.
No,
I'm going to go get a microphone.
Yeah, right? No, it's good. We actually did have a couple questions about frequencies. Is there, I'm trying to paraphrase this to where it makes sense, but is there some type of union that you guys work with, or a group that you guys work with and that works with the FCC in regards to thanks, Carl.
Now it feels like a show.
All right, we're on a gig, right?
now he feels at home.
Tables around yourself.
Go ahead, Stephen, finish.
His hand's in his pocket too right now, but basically, how does that work to where you guys mentioned opening up new frequencies for availability and things like that? How do you guys even work to that? I mean, is it just the FCC makes things available, or is there a group that petitions for that type of thing, or how does that work?
So that's a great question, Steve. I mean, the manufacturers that we work with are actually petitioning right now to try to keep some of that space open, asking for a channel of space so that wireless mics for all bands don't get stepped on by these large telecommunications companies, things like that actually buy the frequencies in that range from the FCC. So
we will not just bands either. It's like live TV, anything that has a wireless microphone involved with it. It's affected by it.
Yeah. Whether we all go back to hardwire mics, I doubt that'll happen. But Josh said, it's harder and harder nowadays to.
Essentially, like, they don't have a stuff for us, particularly for microphones and stuff. We get whatever's kind of left. There is no, like, the FCC, we're on last on the list, basically, more or less.
Who cares where the Cessna's going to land? I want to hear a concert. I don't care about a plane. I don't give a shit.
Let's see. We had another question in here from Jeffrey Hofberger asking.
Hey, you guys know Jeffrey. That's Rambo. Jeffrey Hofberger's Rambo, if you remember. Wonderful front of house sound guy. He's actually by you. He's in Florida. He's a good buddy of mine. He's great front of house engineer. He's not traveling as much anymore, but Hofberger's a great guy. What's up, Rambo? Sorry.
No, all good. You guys will have to explain a little bit about what this means for some of the non-sound people, but Jeffrey's asking, do you guys use backfire tricks or delays at the rear wall? Question.
Yeah, so we don't, especially in the arena, since we always play 360. I believe what he's asking is about doing something cardioid, essentially, with our subs, which cancels rear rejection so that the band and Josh wouldn't nearly get as much of the low end. Okay. But since we play 360 and this is an older band that's on monitors and doesn't mind the feel and sound of the PA, we do not do a cardioid setup. So hopefully that answers this question well.
Cardio setup.
Still work?
It's a cardio. Oh, sorry.
You're fixing it.
I'm scared. No, I don't like this mic.
You're gonna get kicked off the sound team here, Carl.
I broke that years ago. Trust me, it's been broken for years. But actually, Jeffrey Hopberger did with Mark Snyder, Frampton. When Mark Snyder was with Frampton, he was with Mark Snyder with Frampton for years, and he's done a whole bunch of tours. Great sound guy. So, cool. All right. So, that answered.
That's funny. I worked for Frampton for a while.
Did you? You worked with everybody, though. You were. I love it. Talk to me about Frampton. How do you like that gig, man?
Oh, it was great. He's really great. The thing was, it was one of my, I kind of left the gig and it was my fault, but I don't want to get into it because it's kind of a stupid lesson I learned in life about getting another gig during one of the gigs you're doing.
Sure.
And wanting to shift gears and changing your mind. And I did that with Peter Frampton. And when I wanted my job, just the same day, talked to him about getting it back, and he was like, "Nah, you already made the decision."
Wow.
And I was like, "You're right. I screwed that up." And that was a big lesson learned. Don't think you're bulletproof in this world. Stick with what you got. Do the best job you can. Just stay with it till the end.
Yeah. Everybody in his organization, I feel, has humility, and there's BR with the humility right there. You figure out real quick.
Well, you learn things in life, and that was one of my lessons in life, and I enjoyed the hell work. I loved working with him. He was so good, very talented guy. I mean, the whole band, the whole thing was just great. We, were doing clubs and theaters or whatever. It was smaller gigs, but it was
more intimate.
He is such an incredible musician. He played with us at the Garden.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. So Frampton was coming, and I remember Mark bringing, and you talking to Mark Snyder, who we love. Mark was with Frampton and got Tommy the
voice box.
Yeah, the voice box. And I don't think we used it, but Tommy used it at sound check and killed it, man. Did the whole talk box, played guitar and sung into this thing, and Frampton came out and killed it. Frampton, did he use it that night? I can't remember. It's been so long. I don't think he did he? I know with sound check, Tommy crushed it. I mean, Tommy wore the thing out. He crushes everything now.
Tommy can do that. Tommy's Tommy.
Tommy can play.
You could give him you give him
the picture behind you. Yeah, play that picture.
And he'll play it, and he'll sing it, and he knows all the word or whatever. It's like a jukebox, man.
Yeah,
he's so incredible. But anyway, I don't know if Frampton played the box that night.
I know Snyder brought it.
One to Billy. That was the one that Tommy was using.
That's right. That was hip. Yeah, it was the front when Frampton came. It was a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
That was a fun night.
That was a good night.
What about the guests, man? I can imagine both front of house and in Modern Land, you guys like Paul Simon. I mean, you were lucky, Josh. Paul, you worked with Paul a few times. Paul came out and played.
I worked with Paul as well. And
that's right. I mean, you worked
on his movie, One Trick Pony. That's when I met him.
Really?
Yeah, Phil Ramone introduced
God bless his soul.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Phil Ramone introduced me to Paul Simon when we were doing that movie, One Trick Pony. Wow. That was with the old band, Richard T.Ë.T., Steve Gadd.
Wow.
Tony.
Richard Bona?
No. Tony.
Tony. Not Citron.
God, bass player. He played with Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
Shoot. I can't forget him. I just saw him a couple of years ago when Boomer got that award. Anyway,
Pinelli Award, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll never forget this because Phil Ramone introduced me to Paul, and he said, "Paul, I want you to meet Brian Ruggles. He's your new ace in the hole." That was a song on that movie and on that album called "Ace in the Hole."
Wow.
Your ace in the hole. I'll never forget that. And Phil was such a man. What a sweetheart. Yeah. Loved him.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was a big mentor to me. Yeah.
Was he? Yeah, actually, let's jump on that because I remember when I first joined the band in 2005, we were playing in January of 2006 at the Garden, and Phil came backstage. And I know, being a jazz guy, I know Phil from all, Phil Wood stuff to Freddie Hubbard stuff. And I'm just like, I'm shaking. I'm like, this is Phil, this is Phil Ramone. And then I was aware of him, with Billy and he was just one of the dudes, man. He's like, yeah, you're playing a Freddie Hubbard solo. And it was amazing. Every time we'd come out, everybody would light up. But, man, was he just a wealth of information for you sonically? I mean, how did you talk to me about
he was like my
relationship?
Audio father.
Really?
He would yell at me. He would tell me certain things. I would sit in, he was in the studio all the time with Billy. I'd learned so many things from him.
Wow.
And his engineer, Jim Boyer,
who
was an incredible engineer as well. The studio engineer. And I learned a wealth of information from Phil Ramone.
Wow.
And he, God bless him, man. I mean, he taught me a lot, but he was my audio dad, and he would,
he'd smack you down. So,
oh yeah.
So later on in life, like when I joined in 2006, would he ever come to front of house and say, "Hey, would he talk to you about opinions or issues, or was that when you were a lot younger in the studio? I mean, I can imagine his ears are like amazing. His ears were amazing.
When I was younger, he would get down on me, but the last time he came that I remember that he came to a show was Shea Stadium. When we did
wow!
Shea Stadium, and he sat there the whole night, and he would just touch me on the shoulder and said, "BR, it sounds great."
Wow!
And I would just like, whew. I mean, that's like, that's my man.
There it is. So for the people who are at home, the Shea Stadium concerts were 2 concerts. Right. Some of the guests, little guy like Paul McCartney was one of the guests. Little guy like Garth Brooks, Tony Bennett, small guys, Roger Daltrey,
Don Henley, Roger Daltrey,
Steven Tyler,
Flip.
It was Pink. Was Pink? No, Pink wasn't on that
Pink
one.
wasn't there.
You worked with Pink though later.
Pink played with us in L.A. at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, she was great.
She sang New York State of Mind and something else, and then she just blew it out of the box. She was just amazing.
Plus, you worked with Pink. Didn't you work with?
Yeah, Pink? I did a summer tour with her in Europe.
Yeah,
she was just incredible. Oh my
but how the hell does that happen? You're mixing Billy Joel at Shea Stadium, all these acts, the best acts in the freaking world, and Phil Ramone touches you and said it sounds great.
Oh my God!
That's all I need to hear.
It's like I could breathe again. It's like,
it's a cool story.
It's just very, very, it's very cool. And he was just, he taught me a lot, and he was just a great person, a great man, and a brilliant producer, and he did so many people, that.
Was he different in the studio than he was on live gigs?
Well, he wouldn't do live gigs except to listen and critique sometimes.
As a guest. Yeah, as a guest.
Sometimes, like when I was doing, say, the first time I worked with Paul Simon, like at Universal Studios, the Universal Theater, when it was still open air, before they redid the whole place and put the roof on and everything. And Phil was there, and because he took care of Paul as well. Okay. And he would critique me and say, we need to do this and we got to do this. I got to tell you a funny story, just sidebar to that gig. Dolly Parton came out and sang with him. And Dolly, Dolly. Okay, we don't have to talk about Dolly, but we know her asset. But but she came out, and Paul is, as Richard T used to call him, Tall Paul, but he's not tall, he's a short guy. And he was right there. Dolly Parton, yes.
It was a front set, wasn't an asset.
Yes, it was great. It was the funniest thing because he played it up. Paul played it up. Paul can be a very funny guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's quiet and, but he's got this dry humor that's funny as hell. I mean, he's a good guy.
Oh, man.
But that was just a funny thing when he's just like got his face in her chest, But it was just funny. The audience got a kick out of it.
Hey, the rest of the sound guys, have you heard these stories?
Not this.
I haven't heard that one.
That's new. Or the Phil stories?
I got a lot of stories.
Thank you and good night. It's perfect. Right? We are. This is why we're hanging, man. This is why we're hanging.
Certain things we tap on reminds me of certain things.
I love it, Bri.
I let it go.
Let it go. That's beautiful. Wow.
Isn't that funny? Anyway.
Love it. Yep. Wow. That just totally
Steve,
floored me.
I'm going
to... Charlie Tuna Fish?
I got you.
So, Steven,
yes,
hit me up with another question that the rest of us can handle, which I'm sure we can.
Oh, no worries. Really quick, there's some friends that we wanna say hello to and mention really quick. We have the infamous fire extinguishing wheeling chainsaw is
the original mic dropper
is hanging out with us in the chat. Uh-oh. Where'd your microphone go, Carl?
Go Gators.
Yeah, there he is. Thank you for that.
Chainsaw moment right there.
Yep.
Chainsaw is our guitar tech and resident ACD singer of Highway to Hell.
Yep.
And also the hot dog roller, the original hot dog roller, talking about hot dogs. Original truck driver, and my fishing partner and everybody's friend. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah, so we got Chainsaw hanging with us. We have Mr. Tom Bender is hanging out with us.
Tom Bender?
Uh-huh.
Not Bob Bender?
Nope, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
We have...
Does Bob have a brother that we don't know about?
Well, you never know with Facebook and YouTube names. Somebody types something different. We have Mike Del Judas is hanging out with us in the chat.
What's up, Big Shot? Mike 8. What's happening, Mike? We love you, man. Miss you.
We had somebody mention this, Carl, since you were talking about the all the guests at the Shea Stadium shows. Somebody asked if you would tell your Garth Brooks story.
Sure. So there's this guy backstage, I don't know if it was the first or second night we did it, but there's this guy's pacing around backstage, and Mark and I have these big trunks, and Josh will attest, everybody will attest, we had these big trunks, and our horns are in these trunks, and throughout the night, we pull horns in and out. We usually, Mark and I will warm up, get our reeds going or what have you. So a lot of my horns were in that case. It was at the middle of the set and somewhere in there. So this guy in a Mets jersey, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not trying to wear my Yankee stuff. This guy's pacing back and forth. He's a Mets jersey, and he almost knocks like a couple of my horns into my case. And the guy's really nervous. I turn around, I'm like, sir, are you okay? Can I help you? And actually a stage manager, Vinny Palafrone, Vinny's looking at him. I'm like, Vinny's looking at me like, what are you talking to this guy for? And the eyes were big, and it was Garth. He turns around, it's Garth. He goes, man, I'm sorry. I almost knocked your horns over. He goes, I'm really nervous. I was kind of taken back. I'm like, oh, man, it's Garth. I didn't recognize you. I'm like, what the hell are you nervous for? You're freaking Garth Brooks. I'm a freaking trumpet player. He goes, this is Billy Joel. This is the Billy Joel show. I'm a guest on Billy's show. I am nervous as hell. And he was literally just pacing, and he was the coolest dude. He was just such a humble, nice guy. And, we ended up talking for a minute, and he was just everybody, no matter what your stature is, you get put into circumstances, it separates the women from the girls and the boys from the men. It's amazing how people react and how cool they are. And Billy brings out the best in people. I love it, man. I mean, the guy, I'm sure everybody can attest to that, right?
Garth is a big fan of Billy's. He recorded that song Shameless. And he had a huge hit. He also recorded You May Be Right, I think.
Oh, wow.
I know he did it in his show, but he's just a huge Billy fan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. Amazing how that stuff comes up, man. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that answered that.
Yeah,
Steven.
Definitely. Mike, it's either Nyson or Nissen. Question for all the sound guys. I've seen shotgun microphones by the stage at the Garden. They look like maybe Sennheiser 416s. Are these used to mic the crowd when recording shows into the DAW?
They are, yes.
Correct.
Mike, that's exactly what they're used for. You'll see that, and then some larger diaphragm microphones also.
Like that one right there.
Exactly. We treat them much better.
Hey, Josh, I have a question for you. Josh.
Yeah.
Do you use the audience mics for any of the in-ears for ambience?
I do have them patched into the desk.
Okay.
I have them in. Andy gets like a little bit of them in his ears, but no one else. I don't think really. Generally speaking, there's a lot of ambience normally just in the rooms.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
but I
'Cause
definitely
I know that's been done, and people do that, and I was just curious if our guys do that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Okay.
Carl, from a performance perspective, for some of the students, why would somebody want to have that in their ears?
Might as well put something in your ears.
Beat the Q-tip.
Yeah, I got
exactly.
I got something on my chops. I got something in my ears. I'm missing my hat. Come on.
Thank you. I mean, they put the Q-tip a little too far in today.
I got. We all know I got issues. No, honestly. So the question is, why would I want to put them in my ears?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Would there be a reason that you would want to have that ambient crowd noise in an in-ear
Oh.
setup?
Well, Josh hit it best. Like arenas and stuff like that, the slap back and the ambience of that room. When I first joined the band, I thought I played in loud situations, and Tommy said, go to the airport, sit behind a 747, try to play a C scale on your trumpet, and then put cotton in your ears, and then that will be the garden. That's what he said when we did 12 Gardens live in 2006. He goes, and if you can get used to that, that's what you're going to deal with. And I was like, really? Because jazz trumpet player Maynard Ferguson plays the loudest trumpet I ever heard, man. The guy could I used to ring his monitors out where my hair would stand up on the back of my neck. It hurt when ringing his monitors out for him. And I show up on a Billy gig, and it's just sonically in a smaller, room's 20,000 people in a garden, just the ambience, and then the visual aspect of it. It's pretty daunting. So that's how I learned how to play with my eyes closed. I'm like, I'll do what I do, don't really pay attention, and just and ride that volume pot. I'm riding that volume pot in my ears. If I'm playing low, let's say I'm playing under a middle C, I'm going to boost that. You'll see me, like if I'm playing low and slow, I'll boost my volume. And then when I'm really putting the coals to it and playing high and loud, I'm bringing that volume back. I'm actually mixing myself. Josh does a great job, but it's such, even when I record, and Stephen, you can attest to this, when you're mixing me, you're always riding a fader. Brian BR is always riding a fader. So it's amazing how that stuff kind of works as far as
Right here.
yeah, no, it's just, I'm going on a tangent. I'm making a left instead of a right turn. But long story short is, if I wouldn't play with ears if I didn't feel comfortable. And Josh has made it to the point where I don't even have to think about it. It's to the point where now I want to play with ears, but when I show up on other gigs and Josh is not there, I'm spoiled now. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to, rub Josh's hat, but it's the truth, man. It's, he's rubbing it for me. He's made it such a comfortable thing. He knows what I want. Yeah. He knows what everybody wants. So yeah, I mean, the ears are it's sitting behind that 747. It's pretty cool. Well, very cool.
That kind of leads into another thing, and Josh, you can chime in on this, is from your desk, what are some of the visual cues that you pick up on with the individual band members to let you know that something needs to change? I mean, other than like physically pointing and yelling,
you definitely get used to, like, certain people have like hand signals, certain people, mm-hmm. slap people around up there.
Yep.
But yeah, everybody's kind of different. Like Crystal has a talkback mic now, so she can talk back to me during the show. Mm-hmm. Everybody else kind of just has their eye movements, their hand movements. Carl throws stuff occasionally, not on purpose, but
not at you. just usually in my general area.
Yeah.
I have to say something about monitor mixers. I wouldn't do that job. Wouldn't pay me enough money to do that job, because that's a hot seat, man.
In the kitchen, man.
You're in the kitchen, and they will throw stuff at you. Yeah. I've heard a lot of stories about monitor mixers and what they do and what the bands and certain people will do to the mixers.
Yeah.
But
Josh, have you ever had a mic stand thrown at you?
No, not on purpose.
There you go.
I think Billy almost crashed the console last year, though, when he threw his mic stand on.
Wayne almost missed it.
and the harmonica a few times, but
yeah, right.
Wow. Well, it's amazing too, because everyone here in general with the Billy Camp takes so much pride in what they do. Sometimes Josh will throw me for a loop. I'll have a great night. I feel really good, and I'll get a text. I'll be in my hotel room getting ready to go out and have a adult beverage, and I'll get a text either that night or the next day. Hey, man, are you cool? Was it good tonight? I'm like, dude, it was killer tonight. I might have gave him the eyebrow, but it was a good eyebrow. It wasn't a bad eyebrow. But that's how in tune. What's amazing, that's why we love Josh. He is in tune with everybody on that stage, from Billy. And that's, it's Billy Joel on the name. Let's just get it straight right here. It's nobody else's name. Billy. If Billy's happy, everybody's secondary. But Josh doesn't make anybody feel that way.
No, everybody's important.
Yeah, but Billy, it's amazing. Billy shows up to sound check usually later in the day, and very rarely does Billy say anything now. He shows up, oh yeah, once in a while, I'm a little ringy dingy or whatever, and we'll play.
Yeah.
But it's usually, it's usually hit and go, man, hit and run. So it's a pretty cool thing, and I think, you guys take so much pride in what you do. It's wonderful.
It's the whole crew. I mean, honestly, it's all of us working as a team.
Yes.
From the top down, the bottom up, it's
just
good people.
Very true.
Except for the hot dog roller.
Well, God bless the hot dog roller.
Yeah, I love it, man. You gotta bust his chops.
Let's see.
What else you got, Steve-O? How's everybody doing? You guys hanging in? Everybody cool? No one's going fishing yet?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Chat's still kicking pretty heavy. We got more people than we started with, so that's a good sign. Rob Alpert is asking, he says, I enjoyed both of Billy's Hollywood Bowl shows back in 2014. Are there any unique aspects to working sound at the Bowl?
Not RPA.
Yeah.
It's not RPA.
Oh.
Although which PA is that again, Rich?
It's an L Acoustics K1 rig, which is a very good rig. We've had a lot of good shows on it.
Great sounding PA.
Yep.
And we did it. Yeah, it sounded good there. But did we do 2 shows?
We did 2 shows, I think, back to back.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
I think it was. I think we did 2 nights there.
Yeah. No, maybe I think you're right.
Yeah, I remember it was a long time ago.
It was 2 in a row for Billy. That's.
Oh, maybe it was a day off. Maybe it was like a Friday.
I feel like we loaded in and out actually, which.
Oh, really?
Maybe I'm wrong, but
I could be wrong too, because I actually played there with Diana Ross too, and maybe I'm getting confused.
No, they were good sounding shows, and that K1 PA sounds great. But that's the way it is. You have to use it or not play,
Yeah.
But it's a good sounding PA. Yeah.
Do you guys approach shows differently when it's your PA versus something like that situation? How does the process change?
Ooh.
I'd say the approach is fairly similar, but where we get or what we have to do to get to what we would consider a normal show or what we like, might take a little more or a little less. Mm-hmm. We try to approach anything with an open mind and have a listen and, same approach, hopefully good results.
Cool. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
Very cool. I missed this one earlier. You guys were talking about Frampton. Chainsaw says that he worked for Frampton also, and they used to have a barbecue grill in Thom the Bus.
Of course they did.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, if Chainsaw was involved, of course they would.
Yeah, that's where he got his fire extinguishing skills.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about chainsaw. So, like, I'm dropping the mic. So there's SM58 wireless, and at the end of the gig, he throws it every night when he does Highway to Hell. How does that work? As far as, do you have to put a new diaphragm in the mic? I mean, what's going on there? Is it pretty? I know 58s are great. I know they're pretty bulletproof,
Yeah, I mean,
but they're not chainsaw proof. What do you got to do? How do you sort it out?
We change it out sometimes, but you know, he doesn't slam it too hard. They're pretty resilient mics, so.
So should I tell him to start working out a little bit more to kind of get more of a bounce, or just kind of gently drop it? Actually, I did see Jay now put down some foam.
Jay has a piece of foam that's just for the chainsaw mic. Whether chainsaw hits it or not.
I didn't know that.
I usually sit on it the rest of the show.
The foam or the mic?
The part that kills me in that song. The part that kills me in that song is the fire extinguisher. That's louder than anything.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
I got to mute the mic because it's so loud.
And I shouldn't say anything because it's gonna just entice him to do it even
You spray it into the mic.
more.
Isn't music and creative stuff great? You could go out and drop a mic and spray them with a fire extinguisher, and people love it and pay for it. They ask for it.
That's
I
great.
love them.
Chainsaw says that you guys did 2 shows at the Bowl, but they were a week apart.
Wow, a week.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because we stayed in LA for like 2 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chain.
Let's
It's like a dinosaur. He remembers everything. Or is it an elephant? Elephant what has the bigger memory? Dinosaur? or
Sound guys, we're all just looking at each other like, huh?
Let's see. I got a couple questions from Teddy from the Songs in the Attic radio show. He's asking, do you guys record stems at every show, or is there a specific lane you go down if you know a certain performance is going to be used as a product?
Yeah, we kind of record some stems at every show. I don't want to say it, but you know,
Occasionally things happen.
it's for our archival purposes.
There you go.
In case something crazy happens or whatever, you know, we want to have it recorded because we do have a video rolling as well. So it's just archival purposes. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't do anything with it. It just sits in a vault somewhere.
Yep. And actually, I'll go on that too. It's you got the sound hang, and we had the production hang and light hang with Steve Cohen and Foofy, Mark Fafano, his nickname. And one of the things I'm remiss to say is we are working on with our friends on the video end of it to do a video hang. We'd like to do a video hang because they do the whole video thing. So we'd like to have our friends hang out with that because obviously sometimes you never know, things happen. But so yeah, the video crew is actually everybody now is it's such a great unit, and you guys work so good together. So I'd like to get the video guys hang. I'd like to do a video hang too down the road.
It's actually it's funny you mentioned that, Carl, because we just got a question asking a little bit about the details of how you guys as the sound crew work with the video crew, especially when you're dealing with delay and things like that in the sound. How do you guys work to sync up as well as possible, that you know, to get that in line?
During the show, they get a live front of house cut to actually cut the video to. And then afterwards, if needed, BR does the audio, and generally BR can probably speak to it better, but between them and Joe with the video, they'll cut things together if needed.
Yeah, if there's a specific thing they want like a clip or something, and we want to adjust the audio to the video, I might go in with my buddy Jay Vicari, who's maybe he's watching. I don't know. I told him to watch tonight, but anyway, I brought up your name. Anyway, no, I worked with him on Saturday Night Live. He's the he's the live music mixer for SNL. So yeah, but I've known him for a long time, and me and him worked together doing the live audio for SNL. I was there for a few years. But anyway, if needed, I go in with Jay and we do a little mix up, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about during live shows? Is there any work that you guys do to sync up with the video team, or it's just?
No, you just give them a left, right, and something for them to cut to. That's all.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for that question, Lori. BR, this one's for you. Noah mentioned something about Billy singing "Happy Birthday" to you on live at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
He's just asking, do you remember how that went down?
Well, we were playing Carnegie Hall, and we were playing a couple of nights, and we had I think we had a string section and all this stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And yes, he did. He sang. It was my birthday one night, and he sang "Happy Birthday" to me, and it's on the CD from Carnegie Hall, believe it or not. And that was the night. Going back to Phil Ramone, this was the changing of the guard, I believe. This was the time when Phil came to the show. I get my facts right, but anyway, he came to the show, and that's when he became Billy's producer.
Oh wow!
From that time forward, I believe that was what was the turning point for Billy with Phil Ramone's producing. Yeah, I think, and if anybody out there knows for sure, just let me know. I could be wrong, but I think that was the turning point. Yeah.
So anyway. that was June of '77.
Yeah, could be because we came out. When was The Stranger out? 78.
78.
There you go.
Yeah, timing sounds right.
Album that Phil did. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe I'm right for once.
Don't tell anybody. Actually, I'm going to hit you with a question since Steven's been hitting.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to hit this for a minute. This again came up at the end of last week's show that we did. We touched a little bit, Brian, on old school outboard gear in Iraq. Certain things, lexicon, reverbs, and stuff like that.
Right.
Since we got a lot of youngins like Brian Darling and Josh and Rich. I'm the old school. I like to go and turn knobs. I know, old school. Let's talk about plugins. You guys use any plugins, software?
All right. Last week, I couldn't remember. What's the plug-in I use for the delay, Rich? That orange.
Yeah, the H delay.
Yeah, it's actually, it's a great delay for a plug-in. Okay. Probably the best one.
H?
I remember walking in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. H delay. It's part of an Avid plug-in pack.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember walking, like I said last week, I walked into Jay Vicari's mixing room at SNL, and on the screen he had a rack of H delays.
Oh,
That's
wow.
all he uses. Well, that and some verbs. I don't exactly know what he uses, but I still use that's as far as plugins. That's my primary
H delay.
And then I have the outboard
lexicons, right?
PC 5000. I have the PCM 70. I use the
Bricasti
phaser thing.
Oh, Brian, you just said the word. Are you using Bricasti? Because I know that's my favorite verb.
Yeah, I am.
All right, so is that a plug-in or is it outboard?
No, that's a hardwire. Yeah.
Steven will tell you, we bought the plug-in. We got the plug-in broadcasting, but it's what is the plug-in that we're using, Steven? On all our stuff.
It's made by Seventh Heaven.
It's killer, bro.
Yeah,
it's a copy of the broadcasting. Oh my god, because I can't afford,
Great
you know.
reverb.
Yeah, it's a badass reverb. So I got to check the H delays out. I'm getting technical now. I love it.
No, but what's that other one?
DCL 200, DCL 200 for the compressor, and then
right, I know that, but delay the
Eclipse.
Eventide.
Yeah, the Eventide Eclipse.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, mostly
we haven't done this for over a year, and I'm forgetting everything.
I understand. I don't know what my third valve is, and I only have 3 fingers. So the other thing, I'm going to ask Rich this because I'm geeking out now. So I know a lot of guys, whether it be front of house or studio engineers, either love or hate compression. So explain to me how Brian uses compression on, let's say, drums, vocals, horns, compared to a lot of new guys. Kind of like you get out of Full Sail, which is a wonderful school in Orlando. A lot of guys go, and a lot of guys are compressing the shit out of horns and vocals and crunching stuff. And
yeah, it's very different with Mr. BR there. I mean,
tell us about it.
The mix, and even though we have a digital board, much of the mix and everything is treated very old school analog.
Beautiful.
Scenes are not used on that digital board. As we were just describing, the majority of outboard gear is all analog. We could easily lose the one plug-in that he uses and still do a show. It's that approach, you know.
Old school, I love it. That's why it sounds good.
So there is very, very little compression that goes on just to sit things in the mix, if any at all.
Okay.
As I put it last week, I like it to breathe. I don't want this squashed anything. You know, mix it. Just mix.
Use dynamics.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes a long way.
That's
and that's why the band and the sound crew, I think, get along, because dynamics and Bill, it stems from Billy. I mean, you know, he's doing a piano thing of She's Always a Woman, and next minute he's doing I Go to Extremes. Check that dynamic level out. You go from piano, you know, to a very soft thing to a double forte, loud in your face. You can't squash that. You have to make it big, but you also have to bring out the nuance and very soft stuff, and that's not hard. I mean, it's very hard to do in a big place. Not, you know, so yeah, man, that's interesting.
You use these things. Use your ears and use your, you know, you just mix it.
Man.
That's the only way I can describe it, is just the feel and knowing the music and just doing what you do. You know, you don't need all that compression and this for that and this for that. Just let it go, man.
Yeah.
The band puts in the band is just incredible, number one. And the band, you know, the expression, I don't want to curse on the air, but
I did already.
Stuff in and stuff out, but you know, the other word. But yeah, I mean, you guys just give us great stuff to mix. Gotcha. So that's what makes my job a lot easier and better and a lot more fun, is that I get to mix a great band, and it really makes a difference. Yes.
It feels it's the same we feel. It's like, man, we get on stage, no stone is left unturned. It's you know, I think you guys know my sound better than I know my sound, which is scary. And now there's no sound because of quarantine. But no, cool.
Well, but Carl, so, along those lines, you're talking about how they know your sound. We've got a lot of people that come in from the Trumpet forums on Facebook to watch the stream. How do you guys from a sound perspective approach an instrument like trumpet in that rock band arena stadium setting? You know, it's a very dynamic instrument. You got soft as softs, you got loud as louds. How do you handle that dynamic range in that environment?
I would say the one instrument that I do use a lot of compression on is the trumpet, because, well, that's because when you decide to go and get down and hit those high, whatever the friggin' notes they are.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I need to squash that a little bit. So between, you know, your soft and hard, because the trumpet is a hard instrument. I mean, you get into it. You're like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, stop.
You're my favorite trumpet player. But anyway,
thanks.
I do have to squash you sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do have you you have the most compression out of anybody.
Sure.
But other than that, that's it, you know.
Interesting. So now the next thing is, so I'm squashed, but at the same time, if I'm playing soft, am I boosted? Am I limited?
Yeah, you got to understand, you're squashed to the point of not getting, not making that input bleed.
Got it.
In other words, you keep that input.
I might be bleeding, but you're not.
Input right at, you know, as close to zero as you can, and because you go from soft to hard, so you got, you know, trumpet is it's interesting. It's just, that's the only.
It's a messed up instrument, and I see the same thing when you guys, Mike, and we have Isaac Perlman come in and play his violin, his beautiful violin, Stradivarius violin. It's funny because I look at Josh and Jay, and they're working with mic placement, and that's got to be a rough thing to do out in front of the house too when he plays Down Easter Alexa, right? Can't be easy.
Violins.
Violins and trumpets are messed up.
How do you like violins, Josh?
He likes the cello because it burns longer. You know, if you light a violin and a cello, the cello's going to burn longer. I'm sorry.
Get off your mic there, sunshine. But you know, violins are tough. Although
very dynamic, the same thing.
Perlman is the best at it. He's I don't. It's hard to explain, but he can deal with the roughest situations, and he's another one that probably listens to the room, and doesn't really get into the monitor situation. I mean, I'm sure he wants to hear some for time and pitch and what have you, but he doesn't completely count on it. I don't know for a fact, but I could tell the way he plays. He just goes after it. He's like a rock and roll violinist.
He's like a pit bull when he gets into it. Yeah,
man.
Well, he's not scared to play that violin behind the jet engine.
Exactly.
He's not at all.
My favorite part is obviously his playing, but what's amazing to me, and we all like wait. He comes up the ramp. You know, he has a scooter. He comes up this ramp, and Sean Fox and Vin. He comes up like at Mach 20, man, and he's got good breaks coming down. But it's amazing. Nothing scares the guy. The guy is the coolest dude, man. He's just like, let's go. And you know, even I've seen him. I guess he's played with us 2 or 3 times at the Garden. On the science stage, he's having more fun. He's having the same fun he is on the stage. He's such a great cat, man. Yeah, I mean, violin and trumpet got to be a crazy, and saxophone too. I mean, Mark can play, not as crazy as violin or trumpet, but
saxophone is a little easier, but can be
troublesome.
Yeah. Depending.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Well, cool. So before we leave that particular topic with trumpet and using compression on it, one of our chat members is asking how do you handle, you know, balancing the amount of compression you need from a dynamic standpoint versus letting the overtones of the horn ring in the room?
Okay, well, it's not a super heavy compression. It's just to keep it level. And it still breathes, and it still sounds like it sounds beautiful.
Absolutely.
But if he decides to get down and dirty and purse those lips and really get into it, I got him.
These guys got me no matter what. And I gotta say, I gotta interrupt you too. I am the first guy. I hate compression. I go in the studio or a live gig, I hear compression on me, I flip out, and I got that from Maynard. Maynard told me, man, if you get shut down in the mains, you can hear it in the mains. Again, I have monitors in my ears, ear monitors, but Josh knows I'll pop half of my monitor out on my ears a lot of times to hear the room. But I never hear my stuff get shut down. So he's very minimal. I mean, I worked with an engineer years ago, and he would squash everything, and I won't work with him anymore. You know, I want to kill him. So, but yeah, where I'm going with this is, we're talking very right, Brian. It's a minute thing.
You're still on top of the mix. It's so minute that it's just taking out that stuff that would poke out, that would keep you way too in front of the mix, and it's keeping you right there.
Like my hernia, it's poking out. Sorry.
You scared me there.
Bigger compressor.
Yeah. You could have said something else.
Talk about compression.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that.
All right. Well, we answered that. Next question.
Yeah, right.
Not about trumpet anymore.
I was going to get ugly for a second.
Actually, this one's for you, Carl. Joel. Joel Brannon is asking. Basically, we've talked about a lot of the larger venues that you've played in. Do you have favorite small or intimate gigs or venues that you've played?
Guys, remember? Yes. Well, I know it's all about relativity. When in the summertime we played, Fenway and Wrigley, they're giant places, When you come back, the relativity is you go back to the Garden where the band's been a million times, where the sound crew's been, where the whole production team's been. That feels like our home, and it feels like a small room in essence because of the slap back, and it's got this intimacy. So that's one of my favorite rooms because we're so dialed in there sonically and musically. But guys, remember sometimes we did a couple one-offs. One was, I think, in like Naples or on the west coast of Florida. It was a small performing arts theater. We did a one-off. And what was it?
I think it was in Rome. It was that little amphitheater. Yeah.
We did a small amphitheater, and we did also the Paramount in New York. That was fun too, but it wasn't. It was a good sounding room, but yeah, we did a few smaller places. Oh, yeah. What was in the other one? We didn't have the Formula One.
In Mexico City.
No.
Oh, that's outside though.
Yeah, no, this was inside. Morocco. Start with an M. Oh, Jesus. Elton has a place there.
Monaco.
Monaco. Thank you.
Monaco. Oh, with that place on the water.
Yeah, that place sounded amazing. Yeah. And we played the west coast of Florida too. We played a little gig on the west coast of Florida too. Little theaters, it's amazing. And little places we played, it works. It's amazing. Even when we did, Jimmy Fallon, in that small studio at Rock, the band sounded great. Everybody was on top of each other.
Do you like, this is for Carl, do you like playing stadiums or say the Garden, or what do you like? What is your favorite?
They all have their attributes. I mean, I'm sure it's the same way with you guys. Now that I'm used to the jet engine, at stadiums especially, now I'm used to the jet engine. There's nothing better than looking and seeing everybody having 60,000 people having a party with you, but then you go to a small, it's all relative. You go to 20,000 people and it's like intimate at the Garden and it sounds great no matter what. And New York is your home, the band's at home, everybody's at home. But then you go to these smaller theaters too and everything's stripped down. So they each have their own attributes. I wouldn't say one's better than the other. They're all just so different that you just kind of like, wow, you pinch yourself. It's amazing. You know, I wouldn't say there's a favorite. It's I'll be honest with you though. I yearn for playing at I'm a baseball fan like you are, Brian. I yearn for going to a baseball field and sitting in the outfield and hanging out with you guys, eating hot dogs, and then playing music and everybody having a party. I miss that. I'm like looking forward to that so much. And then going and seeing everybody at the Garden. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. How do you guys feel about it? What's favorite?
Well,
what's your favorite?
That's very interesting because I kind of feel the same way.
Really?
And I like playing these smaller venues once in a while when we do a corporate gig or whatever.
Hard rock. What was the other one?
Yeah, hard rock. Hard rock was interesting because
Mohegan Sun. Remember that? That was fun too.
Yeah.
That was
difficult.
That was hard.
That room is a little dicey, but no, we made it work though.
It sounded good.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I like all the different. It's a challenge no matter what.
Yeah.
And I love the challenge, and it's fun. It's fun. You know.
Well, a big tip of the hat to both Brian and Josh. You know, going from a stadium to a club, and having to work with the volume that's coming off stage. You know, sometimes BR can't mix over it, so he has to mix with it. Oh, wow. And both of these guys have to do that. So there's definitely challenges, and these guys handle it very well.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I never really thought about that.
So this next question will be for Brian Darling, and I'm sure I know what the answer is, but a lot of people won't. How's your day change when we're going from the Hard Rock Casino in Fort Lauderdale to Wrigley Field in Chicago? I mean, people got to notice. I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my day goes, it's just the number of boxes I'm hanging. It's
number of PA speakers you're hanging.
Yeah, the number of boxes we put up. Nothing really with the arrangement of the boxes changes. It's all the same points. It's all the same setup. It's just
how many boxes? I mean, sorry to cut you off. Mm-hmm. What are you dealing between Wrigley, a stadium, and a Hard Rock? How many boxes are you deleting? What do you think? How's that work out?
For the stadiums, our main hang is 20 boxes deep. For the mains, and was it 16 for the sides we go to? Yep. And then we've got 6 subs hung in the rear behind the mains.
Woo!
Yeah.
Damn.
And then, like, I don't know, in a Hard Rock or maybe even a more accurate would be like a House of Blues or something like that, like a smaller, like a club kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'd say we'd probably drop at least half of that, right? I mean, and that's up to Rich too.
A quarter to half, whatever's needed, but yeah, it's substantially less, as you might imagine.
Yeah, my day is I we walk in and Rich has probably already been at the venue scoping it out and stuff, and we walk in and say, all right, what are we hanging today? How much?
But you're hanging them. So if you're hanging 20 over 30 boxes compared to 15 boxes, time wise, what does that amount to?
With the cohesion, with the system we're running now, it couple minutes. It's not a big deal.
Really?
Yeah. It's because we go between the Garden and stadiums. We'll drop the bottom 4 cabinets from the main stack and the side hang as well. Actually, we'll drop the bottom 4 cabinets. Those will stay on the truck, and then we'll fly just the 16 in the Garden.
So it's like Pops and Stranger. Are they hanging out, putting their boom boxes through the boxes on the truck?
We need a couple amp racks down there for them. And
shout out to those guys too, our roadshow guys. We got to get them hanging. Our truck drivers, roadshow, Pops and Stranger and all those guys.
I saw Stranger walking around Lidditz today. That was
really,
really.
I thought I did it.
You know, it's fun though, not to. Just to switch gears for a minute, but there's a club in Connecticut in I'm trying to remember the name. Anyway, even what city? But anyway, we did a club with I think it was 4 or 6 S4s aside in a tiny club that holds what? Tops 500, not even.
Wow.
And it was so much fun.
Really?
It's like being in a huge. Oh, it's just killer. It's so much fun to do that.
You know, you just
That's
brought up
only
another thing.
S4s. You can't do it with these guys.
Really?
Yeah, cohesions. But you know.
Remember that place? You guys remember this? Was it the O2? Remember we went to London? It was right. We were playing. I think it was right after Hurricane Sandy concerts. We went over and started in London. We did a couple small joints in London. I think it was the O2. It was a club. It was just like 4,000 or 5,000. It was a small. It was a big club. It was 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah. Well, I don't remember what it was, but the band. It was such a great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's the name of that place? It's a great place.
We just started touring again.
Yeah.
There is an O2 theater. I don't know if
it was
that
a theater.
it or
Yeah, I
not.
think it was O2 Theater.
It wasn't the O2 Theater.
Was
unless
it?
They O2 bought it out. It was It was a famous theater that a lot of bands play in.
And I think
Wasn't
Mark
Prince Albert Hall.
No, Mark
No.
Rivera was out with Ringo.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Andy Snitzer was on it.
Yeah, Andy Snitzer.
Right.
Was there.
Yeah. From Paul Simon. We're good friends. We all love Andy. Great. So yeah, Mark was out with Ringo. It was a tiny, and again, a place, and I think it was S4. I want to say it was S4s back in that place. Yeah.
Would have been.
That was a fun little. It's gonna drive me crazy.
That's anyway. We'll figure it out.
Yep. Any more questions, and then we'll start sword fishing soon.
I can't believe the time again.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
What's up with it? It just flies by.
Well, we're hanging. We're friends. If we didn't like each other, we'd be off in a half hour. Hey, Josh, what are you doing, Josh? What's going on over there, buddy?
Looking at you, buddy.
Hey, man, did I see you go? Did you go fishing today? Did I see fishing pictures?
I did. First
How'd
day
you
this
do,
year.
man? What'd you do?
Went fishing. Steph and I caught some bluegills, some bass, a couple perch.
Who's better than you?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
74 degrees out here today.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Good for you, man.
That's cool.
Steph and you caught fish. I got a boat and I still can't catch a fish. I have to go to the fish market.
I thought
Stuntfish.
I thought your fish was your boat was up on blocks.
It should be. every time I go there, it's something else, Boston. I just want to catch a fish. I got to hang out with Josh. Oh God. Steven, what do you got over there, my man?
Well, man, we're coming up on 2 hours. You know, like BR said, it's kind of hard to believe, but yeah, we kind of hit most of the stuff in the chat. Everybody else is just saying hello and laughing along, and Chainsaw just chimed in, said the O2 in Dublin is where that.
Oh, the one in Dublin, yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, Chainsaw. What was that small theater in London?
Yeah, it was London.
It's outside of downtown London. Come on.
Everybody plays there too. And it was. I want to say it wasn't Jamie Cullum opening, the piano player. Was it Jamie Cullum opening for us, or was this other dude? It wasn't Jamie.
Oh, Wayno. Hey, Wayne Williams is hanging out. He says,
"Hey, Wayno."
Hey,
Wayno.
Wayne says, Hammersmith Odin.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Bang. There you go. Thanks, Wayno.
What are you doing in Texas? You eating barbecue or watching baseball?
Of course.
What are you doing, man?
That's what I'd be doing.
Exactly.
That's where Wayne lives, man. He's in Texas. Wayne is Billy's piano tech, and he keeps us laughing, and he keeps everything
He's been
running.
with us for a very long time, and he's another one of those guys. He's a good man.
Good man. We did
Good man.
Yeah, he was
Chainsaw.
Yeah, that particular show was a good time with the Wayne and Chain show that we did.
Wayne and
Oh, I'm
Chainsaw.
sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. We
But,
miss you, buddy.
But yeah, that's pretty much everything in the chat. You know, I know, Carl, you usually like to keep a couple questions in your back pocket to tie things up. But I personally just wanted to say, thank you to you guys, for spending the time. Everybody in the chat, it's like, here's one in particular. James just said, really cool to be a fly on the wall with this crew. I thought trumpet players tended to cut up when we got together, but these guys got us beat. So
they definitely have us beat. Trumpet players are these guys have it happening. They know what's going on. Yeah. I can't hide. I can't. Oh, these four guys. I can't hide from them. You know, anything I play, anything I do, I can't hide. They hear it. They know. Saying everybody on the crew, everybody knows, man. There's no hiding from these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So a lot of people just saying thank you to everybody. Thanks to BR and the team. Never been to a show that I thought needed to be improved in any way. A lot of comments. A lot of comments to that effect. So,
thank you.
So I'll close down the chat on my side and say thank you to everybody that submitted questions and hung out with me in the chat, including the Hang Monster, Frank Benici. Hey, Frank.
Frankie. What's up, Frankie?
And thank you guys for your time and BR for 2 weeks in a row. And
we got to get him a watch, man.
Yeah.
We got to get BR for a watch. Yeah, he's going to shoot. We got to get him. I think we can get him a Casio.
With the calculator?
Yeah. Exactly. He can look at his spectrum analyzer.
Exactly.
And look at the geometry and physicology.
That's okay.
There's some big words tonight. I don't know what they mean.
I heard the word cardioid like 4 times tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys. And I think it's just for me personally, and knowing that Carl and I started this thing just as a way to kind of hang out at the beginning of this pandemic, and now knowing that we've got almost 10 hours of content just from the Billy Joel sound crew on these hangs and the stories and stuff. I where else are you hear some of this stuff? So I really
blackmail.
I really appreciate it, and I'm keeping everything in an archive. I've got the stems. So I will turn it back over to Carl and do me a favor, and you guys, like I said at the beginning, make sure to stay on until I give you the clear at the end, please.
Cool.
All yours, Carl.
Oh, cool, Steven. Thanks, bro. So this is our 50th episode. My thanks and my utmost respect for Steven for having us and taking care of the audio and video. Thank you. He did a good job. He's a good kid, right? This Chicago guy.
Yeah. All right. Done good.
He's real good.
You know?
Yeah.
We got to have him out on the road and he can eat hot. He don't eat meat, so we got to get hot dogs in him. We got to get some hot dogs in him, right, Josh? Can we do that? Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, we could get some hot dogs in him. But thanks, Steven. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. So I always ask the same question 50 times. I'm going to start with Brian Darling. And everybody will have a different answer. It could be very simple, very in-depth. It could last 5 minutes or 5 seconds. What are you looking forward to, man, in the future, Brian?
Getting back, man. I've been sitting in this room with all the bric-a-brac for over a year now, so I'm ready to gig, bro.
Is it growing? Is this stuff?
Has been, yeah. This didn't exist
right?
last year.
It's amazing.
The bamboo tree used to be this big.
Yeah.
A lot of water. Yeah, man. We're looking to get back with you, man.
Oh, you guys, yeah.
We miss you, brother. I want to see that mosquito. I turn around and there's Brian running. He's running. This guy is running everywhere. I love it, man. Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
making it,
yeah.
And thanks for opening up the bamboo.
The bamboo room. There's a sign made tomorrow for it.
Yeah, it's good, bro. What about you, Rich, man? We appreciate you coming on, and what do you think? What's looking like in the future for you, bro?
Thanks for having me. I'd have to echo the same thing, man. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to hear the roar of the crowd, hear that jet engine, and hear that downbeat from you guys.
Man, I love it. So when we get off, are you guys gonna have a drink together?
As opposed to
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, I love it, man. And Joshy, Same question, man. Thanks for always being supportive of what we do on stage and off stage, which is a lot to ask. Thanks for making us sound good in our ears, and both to Brian and Rich for making us sound great. What are you looking forward to in the future, my man, Josh?
I would say the same thing. Like, I'm just excited to get back to work and get out there. I think we work for the best organization there is out there. So miss everybody and just want to get back at it.
Cool. Does Steph drop you off at the airport like Kenna does me? She's like, all right, you have to go somewhere. Sometimes I just sleep in the airport floor. I sleep in the airport floor because I don't know where to go. And I'm too cheap to go anywhere. You know, my wife can't wait to get me out of the house. But it's amazing, right? Like, our life totally changed because we knew at least 4 to 6 days a month we were gone. But it's a good thing, man. I'm learning how to be nice.
Stop. No. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't either. But honestly, thank you, man. You make us sound great in our ears and monitors, and thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you for having us.
And last but not least, I asked the same question last week to Brian, but I gotta before he's gonna have the last word. Dude, thank you for making two hangs with us. It means the world to me that you actually did this. Because I know, there's not a lot of stuff you talking like this, man. And I learned a lot from you. I love you, man. It's great, bro. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And I appreciate it. And I love that I got to see my boys and I got to hang with my brothers that I miss so much. And I can't wait to see them again and see everybody again because it means a lot. I mean, our family is... It's a great family, and I miss it. And our road family I'm talking about, and also my own family. But I mean, I just can't wait to see everybody again and give everybody a big hug. And I love it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.
So we'll meet again. Well, good night, everybody. Love you guys.
Right.
Be safe. See everybody soon.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Carl Fischer.